Hello guys, Saul here and you're welcome to SINP Tool. In this episode, we are going to look at an SINP draw analysis into the NOC Code 22232, and that is the code for Occupational Health and Safety Specialist. We're going to be doing this draw analysis using the SINP Self-Assessment and Trend Analysis tool. Now let me emphasize that this template has been designed for estimating chances of invitation based on the draws that have been done so far as this occupational code 22232 is concerned. Now this template can actually be adapted to various other occupations. All you need to do is just change the database and then you can easily adapt it to other occupations. Alright, so without wasting time, let me quickly do a quick introduction about what our website is all about. SINP Tool is actually a website, www.simptools.com. Alright, and this is a platform where we focus specifically on Saskatchewan Immigration Nominee Program, International Skilled Worker Program to be precise. And within the International Skilled Worker Program, we are actually looking at the Saskatchewan Express Entry subcategory and the Saskatchewan Occupation in Demand subcategory. Alright, so we've published quite a number of articles. Our vision is to publish over 120 occupations on this website where you can actually look at how to immigrate in each one of those occupations. You also be looking at the draw analysis that we've done on all the occupations. Currently, we've done up to 13 occupations. We have a Facebook community where we keep our members informed on all our content. And again, we have a quick reference and the support section where you can actually quickly look at the draw compilation that have been done since inception of SINP and various other interesting things that you need to be aware of. Again, we have the solution sections where we publish these templates for users who are interested in tracking their own journey. All right, so the SINP self-assessment and trend analysis have been published on this section and you can actually look at it, and if you're interested you can download. All right, so back to the template, we are going to do a draw analysis into NOC 22232, Occupational Health and Safety Specialist. All right, now what is this NOC all about? Before you can actually plan to immigrate, you need to know that this NOC is actually your NOC. So before that, let's go to our website once again, come to the support section and go to IRCC NOC 21 version. All right, so click on this link, it brings you to this page, and this is actually the National Occupational Classification system that the Canadian government has put together for classifying various occupations under various groups and assigning those groups with codes which users can use to create profiles and associate occupations with those numbers. So basically, we are looking at 2021 version, and but before that, just take note that the NOC can be classified under various versions. It is important to recognize the fact that we are using the 2021 version, and again we'll be using 2016 version because we are looking at trends over the past years. So over the past years, we're using 2016 version until December 15th when we switched to 2021 version. All right, December 15th last year, the SINP selection result that was published was this. All right, so let's quickly confirm our NOC 22232. That is it right here. 22232. Okay, so that is the right there. Occupational Health and Safety Specialist. Okay, and then take note that if your occupation falls within any of these list of job titles, then your occupation falls under NOC 22232. All right, so all types of health and safety professionals, you can associate your occupation with this. All right, so we have been able to know that we fall within this category. Now let's get straight into what this template is all about. Okay, so basically we have a list of important parameters that you need to be aware of, and this is for information purpose because we want you to really be able to understand some of the important things that you need to be aware of without having to go to SINP's website. But take note that each of these tables that you will be seeing within this template, you have the links which you can actually click to go to IRC's website or dedicated platforms where you can actually get more information. So we've done that for you. Now, frequently invited occupation list. Now this is something that's very, very important, that before you even think of applying to the SINP, you should know that your occupation is in the frequently invited occupation list. Now, how do you know that your occupation is frequently invited? You can only do that when you come to our website, all right? Come to the support page and come to the SINP draws compilation. So that page has already been open right here. Okay, so with the SINP draws compilation, we have published all the draws according to the various occupational classification codes, all right? And you can actually do Control F and then enter the occupational code there, and then you can actually go through to find out how many times has your occupation been invited. So 22232, that's occupational health and safety, has been invited a few times, and we can also use the 2016 version, because as of November 16, 2022, we were using the from August 2018 all the way to November 2022. It was actually the old version, that was 2016 version. So if I scroll all the way, you see that that's right there, occupational inspectors in public and environmental health and safety, occupational health and safety, basically. So that is just for you to know how to find out that you are in a frequently invited occupation list, okay? But you don't have to really do what I just did, because we have done the work for you that your occupation is in the frequently invited occupation list, and that is it. So health and safety is right here, and it is in there because we collated the draw results and we put them all on a spreadsheet, okay? 22, 32, 22, that's it right there, okay? Now we are very much certain that if it is here, then obviously it is not on this excluded occupation list. So that is just for your info that some occupations are on the excluded occupation list, and it is important that you are aware of it, so that anybody who is seeking advice as to whether to apply for SINP, you just know that they are on the excluded occupation list and there's no points even starting at all. Now we have the eligibility assessment grade point. Okay, this is something that you have to do. This is an important information for you to know and understand, because this is what you use to assess your eligibility for SINP. So we've put it in this sheet because we want this workbook to be a comprehensive source of information for decision making, okay? But of course, you can always verify more by just clicking on the link, and the link is going to take you to the website where you can actually look at the assessment grade point, all right? Now, the eligibility assessment grade point comprises of the two factors, factor 1 and factor 2. So factor 1 is looking at labor market success, factor 2 is looking at connection to the Saskatchewan labor market and adaptability. So that's actually looking at the connection the person has to the province. And then the factor 1 is just looking at these main factors of education and training, skilled work, language ability, age, and that is it. So at the end, we are looking at a score of 80. Okay, so master's education, you have highest point for various levels of education. You have the points for various levels of education. And then work experience prior to submission of application in the last 5 years. You can actually, if you have 5 years of work experience in the last 5 years prior to application submission, you can choose and you can use that to estimate your score. So this is just basically for you to understand the assessment grade point, all right? However, we have done the eligibility assessment calculator right here, which you can use to estimate your score. Now just take note that apart from the eligibility assessment grade, you also have the IELTS language, English language test system, IELTS or IELTS, all right? General, where you look at the various scores that will enable you to achieve a CLB 8. So this is just for information purpose. Education credential assessment, you click on this link, it takes you to World Education Service. You can then create a profile to do your education credential assessment. Connection to the province of Saskatchewan, these are the points you get for employment of a 30 point, close family relative in the Saskatchewan province 20 point. And then again, proof of fund. So take note, all these things that we've provided just for information purpose, and we utilize it also in the template. So this is just something that you are just supposed to be aware of. The main area that you should be focusing on energy is eligibility assessment. You can actually do your own eligibility assessment based on the factors that are applicable to you. You have a master's degree, you score 23 points. If you have a maybe bachelor's degree, it's going to be lower. If you have a master's degree, it's going to be 23 points. prior to application, all right, the SINP, if you are doing your eligibility assessment, you need to assume that you are submitting your application right now. So if assuming you are submitting application today, then in the last 5 years prior to application submission, do you have 5 years of working experience? That will mean that you are in current employment. If you're in current employment, then of course in the last 5 years counting to today, you can prove that you have 5 years of working experience. If that's the case, you indicate as such. If you can only prove 4 years, the score drops. All right. So if it's 5 years, you score the highest points. And prior to application, in the last 6 to 10 years, can you prove 5 years of working experience? You indicate as such, and you can now estimate your score. And then do you have first language ability, which could be French or English language? If you wrote IELTS or English or the French version, you indicate the CLB that you scored and you have the highest point. And if you have a second language ability, you indicate as such, and then your age. Now mind that the perfect case scenarios are, for instance, being within the ages of 22 to 34, you score the maximum point, and then having a second language ability. Also, you can score 80 points. So the maximum score you can ever score with the outside of the Saskatchewan province or outside of Canada is the first factor, which is the labor market success. This is the only part that everybody outside of the Saskatchewan province can actually be fighting for. This is the point that you can try to prove. And then most of the case, or most at times, all right, people do not have second language ability. So the highest score they can also ever achieve is 670 points. So this is literally the case for most people, that they will always score 70 maximum. That's if they are in a perfect case scenario. But of course, as we are aging by an additional age, you get into the age range of 35 to 45, you lose 2 points, and now you are within 6 to 8. So majority are likely to be within this range if you are applying from outside of the Saskatchewan province or outside of Canada. Now over here, we've put the NOC 22232 2021 version in here, and the NOC 2263, the 2016 version. All right, and again, you're going to be using the express entry occupation demand. You can select it from here. So based on the eligibility assessment, we have a 68 points. All right, and this is what we are going to be using to do our draw analysis. Okay, based on your EOI score. Okay, now take note that this is the database where we've been building over the time frame. Okay, this database has been built specific to NOC 2263 2016 version and NOC 22232, that is 2021 version. Now take note that this NOC was used from this date, 21st of August, that's the 2016 version. It was used from this the 21st of August 2018 all the way to November, all the way to, let's say, November 8th. Okay, November 8th, 2022. We're using the 2263. We're using 2016 version. It was from 15th December 2022 to date that we started using the new classification version, which is 2016. So you still find the NOC 2016 relevant in doing your draw analysis. That's how come we have it in our template. All right. Now, in terms of building your database, again, we've done it for you. We've done it up to a 87th draw. That is the most recent draw. That was on the 16th of August 2023. Now, if there's any new draw, all you need to do is just have a look at it. But of course, before you can even have the draw, you can just visit our website. Okay, come to our website, come to support. We have the link right here, EOI selection results. So if you click on it, it's going to open the SINP's website, and you scroll further down and you see the download link right here. When you click on it, it's going to download the latest results, which is currently as of August 16, 2023. That's what unfortunate. Today is September 29th, but there hasn't been any draw since August 16th. All right. Now, based on this data, you need to build your own database. You need to continue to build on the data. We've already done it for you, but let's just verify to August 16, 2023. EOI the draws were done at EOI point of expression of interest point of 60. All right, so all those who had 60 points were invited. Literally, the minimum requirement to be eligible for SINP was 60. So that's it right here. 60 points was drawn. The lowest ranked candidate had 60 points, and all these occupations were invited. And take note, 22232 was invited for express entry, for occupation in demand, and for express entry also 22232 was invited. All right, so that's exactly what we have there, and all these are all the other people that were invited for various other occupations. They are all in here, but the fact is that our occupation has been invited at the EOI point of 60. So that's exactly what we put in right there. Express entry was 60, occupation demand was 60, NOC was invited, yes. Both pathways, yes. That's occupation demand, express entry were both invited. What is the invitation? So the invitation is the total persons who were invited. So we sum everything up. These numbers were all invited on this draw, all right, and that sums up to 642. Now, the reason why this is important is that we are trying to also estimate how many people are invited in a given year and what could possibly be a justification for SINP not inviting for a long time. Okay, so we're going to be seeing the trend. Now, as you build your database, this section does the analysis for you. Now, this sheet is full of calculations. Each cell that you check, if you click on each cell, you notice if you go to the formula bar, there are calculations all throughout. All right, so this page, you have no business tampering with the formula. The sheet has been password protected, and all you need to do is just do your analysis. So in terms of analysis, we are looking at the fact that you have an expression of interest point of 68. All right, so when you did your eligibility, your score was 68. So when you're doing your trend analysis, you're going to be using 68. So at 68, chances of invitation is 22% overall, but you can look at various years to see what was the chance of invitation if you have 68 score. 2019, obviously there's a chance of invitation. 2020, there was no invitation at this score. 2021, there was no invitation at this score. 2022, it was invited 7 times, 37% out of 19 draws that was done in 2022. 2023, 7 draws have been done so far. It has been invited just once, 40% chance of invitation. Now just take note that there were 2 years that there was no invitation. 2020, 2021, 68 was never invited. So that tells you that it is possible SINP will never invite your NOC, this very NOC code, for at least 2 years. It has happened before. So that then implies whenever you get an invitation to apply, you do not waste it, because you may never know. Perhaps the next time you ever be invited will be next 2 years, as it has happened before. All right, per the trend. Again, that is just with the dashboard giving us a lot more insight. Okay, now take note that 2018, 7 draws were made. 2019, 19 draws. 2020, 17 draws. 2021, 18 draws. 2019, 2022 is 19 draws. 2023, only 7 draws. You can never understand why SINP is not inviting. And it's not like there's anything to it, because if you look at the trend in terms of number of people that were invited, you cannot justify that perhaps SINP is overloaded with a lot of work, and for that matter, they are slowing down on the draws. Because 2019, 9,000 people, 2020, 8,283 people were invited, 2021, 6,532, 2022, 10,654. That is not a strong justification to say SINP cannot invite a lot more people within 2023. So SINP not inviting is probably they not just, whatever policy that's going on, nobody can tell. So the rule of thumb is that SINP can never tell when they will invite. Take note that for a long time when SINP did not invite, okay, the last time they invited at 60. Now, if you are looking at this trend report, invitation trend analysis, let's take our time and look at it. If you are using occupation in demand, your chances of invitation drops. If you're doing express entry, it increases. Now, the higher your EOI points, like 78, you get a lot more opportunity to be invited. The lower your EOI point, for example, having a minimum of 60, these are the chances of being invited. So the more points you have, the more chance of being invited. And take note, any point you claim here, you should be able to prove it. So you cannot claim point you cannot prove, because these are very, very important in ensuring your success whenever you are invited to apply. All right. So first and foremost, let's try to understand this trend report. We always try to look at the maximum intervals between invitations. So the maximum interval, the highest interval between invitation is 69 days. 69 days. This happened here. Okay, 8th June 2023, 16th August 2023. It took 69 days for SINP to invite. All right, so this is how late SINP can actually take to do the next invitation. They can actually spend a whole 2 months and a couple of days. Now we are currently in September 29th, all right, and that is probably about 6 weeks. It's already gone. Okay, 6 weeks is just about let's say 40 days. So we are just looking at what's going on. Hopefully SINP should invite next week. If SINP invite next week, then of course we'll probably be invited at 60 for because you may never tell. They may replicate this same trend of inviting at 60, so you may never know. Just stay ready. All right. Now, take note that you have the option to choose occupation demand, where you are analyzing on this section, or express entry, where you are analyzing on this section. All right. So if you are doing express entry, take note that you are looking at 68 EOI of 68 points. This is the number of times 68 has been drawn. Okay, so if you filter by, for example, express entry here, right here, and we filter by 68, then we're able to tell that 68 has been invited how many times? 13 times, and out of which our occupation was invited. There were times it was not invited, but the fact is that SINP is able to invite at 68, and that is good news for your NOC. All right. Now, over here we are looking at the total persons who have received invitation over the time frame. So that's the sum of all the entries in here, and currently we are on the 87th draw. Now let's also recognize the fact that SINP has taken 6 years now, since 2018 all the way to 2023. It is only 6 years old as far as they've been publishing their selection results. All right. Now also take note that at this EOI point, you have the 19 chances of being invited. In fact, at 68 EOI, the chances of, the invitation that you're going to be received, the invitation that you are receiving, or invitation to apply, has been issued 19 times. So that is the golden opportunity. The golden opportunity has been awarded how many times? 19 times at this point. So that is exactly what this template is. You're able to tell the number of times this point has been invited, and they've been given opportunity to apply. All right, invitation to apply. So a total of 87 draws, 19% chances, 19 times of being invited. You have a chance of invitation at 22%. Okay, so you can actually clear the filter and then look at other points. Okay, so if your expression of interest point is 66, unfortunately the chances of invitation drops to 10 points, because it hasn't been invited many times. But if you have about, let's say, 80%, that is those within Canada or Saskatchewan, of course it's a lot more. All right, now take note that this table we've been able to categorize when invitations have been focused on outland or inland. Now every time the score is below 70 or 70 and below, it is inland. The reason being that the maximum chance of somebody being invited outside of Saskatchewan is only when the opportunity is only when the inviter is 70 and below. Every time they invite above 70, it's going to be those already within Saskatchewan province, because you can never achieve 75 from outside of Saskatchewan. So if you are within Saskatchewan, your chance of getting a lot higher score, is high. The chance of getting a higher score is high. So that's pretty much what this template does. It does a draw analysis based on various AOI points, okay? And then, for example, at 70 points, we come to a dashboard, we go to the data tab, we refresh all, okay? And then now we know that the chances of invitation at 70 is 44%. The chances of invitation at 69, okay, we refresh all. Then we select this. Okay, let me just close this. It's 33%. The chance of invitation at 67 is 13%. Okay, so the higher the point you have, the higher the chances of being invited. Okay, because the trends are going to tell you that this over the time period, at this point, a lot of invitations were issued. So this is how exciting this template is, but that is not all as far as trend analysis is concerned. We're also saying that we want you to be able to prepare adequately so that you do not waste an ITA. So whenever you're preparing, we have some trackers that's going to help you. So we have some trackers. Of course, you'll be gathering a lot more information. You need to log all of them in here. You have to do your education credential assessment. There's going to be a cost to it. You may want to have a start date and finish date, and you're going to be tracking days until the end date, so you can tell how fast you're able to close some of these actions, and the fact that you need to make sure they are all closed. All right. So as far as this template is concerned, we managed to get ECA. We gathered all the reference letters from our employers. We did the English language test. Okay, and then we also renewed our passport and everything, and then we submitted our application, and this is how much it cost us and all of that. So that's basically action tracking. Again, when it comes to language ability, you could be trying to improve your IELTS score over a time frame. You could be improving your IELTS score over a time frame. So you may have a first attempt and perhaps second attempt and third attempt. So every time you try and you input your score, it's going to indicate whether you are within the color coding is going to be, showing whether you've been able to meet the benchmark of CLB 8. All right. CLB 8 simply means scoring 6.5 in reading, 6.5 in writing, 7.5 in listening, and 6.5 in speaking. All right. Same for the French. And then when it comes to your IELTS certificate, you can also be tracking them in here. So there's the date of issue, date of expiry is going to be on your IELTS results. And then this is going to be tracked automatically for you. So currently the IELTS score was done on 27 January 2023, and the expiry date is 26 January 2025. So we have 16 more days to go. So SINP has literally wasted 8 months of the IELTS result because we never invited. So we're just keeping fingers crossed that SINP will invite, because we have 60 more months to go. Same with education credential assessment. Date of issue is this date, date of expiry is this date. SINP education credential assessment is valid for 5 years. So we have exactly 30 months more to go. We've literally exhausted 30 months already. All right. So we have 30 months more to go. So that's how interesting this template is. Apart from the fact that you are tracking all these important parameters, we're also tracking work experience. And that's something very, very important, that we need to recognize the fact that we're looking at 2 time frames, right? The last 5 years prior to submitting your application, and the last 6 to 10 years prior to submitting your application. So when you are creating a profile, you need to assume that you are submitting your application right now, and you start counting for the last 5 years. Can you prove 5 years of working experience? And for the last 6 to 10 years, can you prove 5 years of working experience? Okay, so you need to make sure that you are in current employment to be able to fully account for work experience in the last 5 years. All right, so this section you need to answer: are you in current employment? Yes If you're in current employment, then over here is going to change to today's date. Okay, if you are not in current employment, you need to provide the last date of your previous employment, so that it's going to show here. All right, so we are actually in current employment, and this date it shows right here. So we put in our current employer, how many hours per week. Take note that 30 hours per week is considered full-time. Anything less than that is part-time. You need to make sure that you're accounting for all the full-time and part-time. They should all sum up to 5 years. But obviously, when it comes to SINP, if you have part-time, then you cannot really achieve the full 5 years within the last 5 years. All right, you cannot get a full mark or full point for 5 years within the last 5 years. It's not possible with part-time unless you are working full-time. So you provide the start date, the end date will be updated automatically every single day because you are in current employment. So it's gonna estimate duration of employment based on the end date and the start date. And then all the subsequent employment that you've had over time, you indicate end date and start date, and it's going to categorize them properly. The last 5 years, these are the ones that falls within last 5 years, and these are the ones that falls within last 6 to 10 years. All right, and then you need to take your time to collate or gather all the relevant required documents. Okay, reference letter, by following the reference letter format, tier 1 or of government issued documents like SNP statement, social security. You can also have social security from a private entity. You can have employment contracts, email correspondence, pay stubs, bank statements showing payment that were made from the company, evidence. It could be photo evidence. And if you're proving self-employment, you need 3 reference letters from clients, business registration, proof of income, proof of tax filed, screenshot of website, client reviews, letter of explanation. So these are some of the documents that we've highlighted here to guide you in gathering all of them. If you have the document, all you need to do is just select from the drop down list. Okay, so just click this and select that you have this document. So this helps you to track and make sure that you are preparing adequately to submit your application in case you are invited. Again, proof of fund is something that is built over time, and that's for a majority of people unless you have a lump sum that is sitting there. But if you're able to, you need to have a tracker, and there's a savings tracker we've developed for tracking, proof of funds. So every month allocation that you'll be making towards the proof of fund for each year is going to be summing up, to give you the total value, total amount as against the required fund for the size of your family. Okay, so if you have a large size of your family, it's going to tell you you are short of 90,000 more to go. If you have just a family of 4, it's going to tell you are currently in green because now you've exceeded the proof of fund at the current exchange rate. This exchange rate can change it based on the current rate in your company or in your country, basically. So that's going to estimate the local currency for you, and that's going to be comparing against this to estimate whether you have exceeded the proof of fund or you are actually owing the outstanding that you need to make sure you save up. All right, so this is how interesting this template is. It helps you to do trend analysis. You're able to visualize the trend on the dashboard to know your chances of invitation. You're also able to track various actions that are related to your journey, and then proof of work experience and proof of fund. All right, so this has been done specifically for NOC 2263 or 22232, that is for occupational health and safety specialists. You can adapt this template to other occupations, but what it means is that you need to go back to the selection results and build a whole set of database. We try to do this for users by making sure that we've done the database for you and publish it on our website. So that's how come we have these individual ones. Okay, these individual ones, we've adapted the tool for these NOCs specifically. So their database are very specific, and you can actually get them and continue to build on it. All right, so this template is very, very simple. Majority of the information in there, majority of the features are just for information purpose, like all these ones. Eligibility tool, you need to do it. You can actually do it on the website of SINP, or you can do it here. You can do it here just for the benefit of knowing that this is something that is within the workbook, and you can always look at it. Again, you can build your database, just build on it, and that is it. Everything has been done for you. Every time you make a change, all you need to do is just go to data tab and refresh all, and then everything is going to update for you. All right, so thank you all for your attention. I believe that you find this tool very useful. In case you're interested in this tool, all you need to do is just visit us, come to the website, come to this very section. You see the NOC published there under solutions. Click on it. It's going to take you to this page where you can actually view all the screenshots of the templates. It's exactly what you see. You can actually read more about it. Click on the download button. It takes you straight to the download page where you are going to find a video posted right here, because it's going to be on YouTube. I'm going to put the video link right here. You can actually scroll down and make a purchase, and once you make a purchase, you get a file instantly on the website to download. A copy also will be sent to your email address or to your inbox. All right, so that's it basically. So thank you all, and see you again soon in another video. Bye for now.